What's going on, Throne Army? Got a cool video for you today that came about by by chance. I ordered some heads from Warrior, and they didn't have the unstrung Evo 3Xs I wanted, so they sent me strung ones. And I was kind of shocked when I got it in the mail. I haven't seen a factory strung or I haven't really strung hard mesh in a very long time. So seeing a hard mesh factory strung pocket. And I was talking to Chris about it, and like that people play with this, and like starting players, this is what they have, was very depressing. It was funny at first, and then the comedy kind of wore off because it's like, we're trying to grow this game the best we can, and if kids are playing with this, they're not really playing to their full potential, and I could see it being very frustrating as a young player, or even an older player playing with one of these pockets and trying to, do what you see in the MLL or in the college ranks, and you just aren't going to be able to do it because the pocket does make such a difference in lacrosse. It really does. So here is a Warrior Evo 3X factory strung, and it's just depressing. There's so many things that are just wrong with it, and I can't see it helping or really being a good pocket for many players. First off, it's hard mesh, and the pocket is just not even close to being deep, and the back throat's pretty long too. It actually comes like straight down instead of out because they use so many diamonds. So when this actually does stretch out, it's going to be a really weird, like over-defined bottom string low pocket. The channel, and I've actually pounded this a few times, like trying to get it to loosen up when they first came, and it just doesn't. It's just, you can't even see it. It just looks like part of the head. It almost looks like a girl stick. The shooters are really low, and they're really tight for some reason. Like, they're not going to grip the ball. The ball's just going to ride on them, and they're going to take forever to break in. And then the other aspect is if you go to try and loosen them, there's not enough string here to loosen the shooting strings to drop the pocket, so you'd have to restring these. And then this one's cut, and it's not even tipped. They're like lightly tipped. They're not even. This one's already fraying. And then this one has the ends on it. They did two heavy top nylons, which is kind of overkill, and one goes through the plastic and one doesn't. It's just silly. It's silly on so many levels, and it's kind of upset. And the sidewalls are done kind of wonky for sure. It's similar to how I've seen stores string their heads, but they're not usually this bad. Usually the shooting strings are done a little bit better, and it's not just a really low bottom string pocket. So it kind of gave me a reality check that people are playing with this, and I wanted to show you guys the difference between a factory strung head and a thrown strung head. And it's, at first it was funny, I'm not gonna lie. We were looking at it, and it's kind of the ugly duckling, but then it's like, when you think about it, it's kind of depressing. So here's my Evo 3X that's strung with 15 mil white thrown mesh with a Pioneer pocket, and just if you look at the difference, like, this is strung. I've never even touched this yet. This I tried to pound and it just didn't work. And out of the bag, like fresh, brand new, the difference is absolutely insane. And this, is hard and stiff and not weather resistant, and this one is very soft and just a pleasure to play with. It's going to have a lot of feel to it. I haven't even pounded this. I haven't done anything. This is how it comes. Beautiful channel to it. Nice depth. And this one, you can see it's strung right to being legal. So right out of the box, it's ready to go, and it's not going to stretch out like crazy like the hard mesh would or bag out. And it's silly. It really is that's what you get when you buy a strung head. And but it's also on the same kind of, at the same time, it's pretty depressing to think about. And it doesn't make me very happy at all, considering that's coming from like a top lacrosse supplier that's like synonymous with lacrosse. And yeah, so I mean, that's what I wanted to show you guys, just the difference between the two in terms of quality. Like, if you don't even go into the mesh aspect of this one being, waterproof, ready to go right out of the bag, has great hold, increased hold because it's softer, and it's just going to last you longer. It's just like the stringing is atrocious. Like, doing a factory strung pocket that's decent for everyone would be very easy, especially in a head that has this many sidewall holes. But it's like, you got to train people, and you got to have attention to detail, and there's just none here. So that's just kind of a side by side of a factory strung head to a thrown strung head, and how much more fun like, even if it's not even like about competition, this one's going to be a lot more enjoyable to play with. You're going to be able to do a lot more things with the ball and your stick on the field. And then all the other bonuses of hold and accuracy and waterproof and the feel of it is just kind of a bonus compared to what you're going to get over here by ordering a pocket strung by me. And so just want to kind of walk you guys through the two. I'm going to unstring this immediately. I do not want this in my studio overnight, but just wanted to walk you guys through it. And I think you guys are pretty smart. You can see the differences between the two, and just kind of how silly this really is, and how it's not really helping anyone, but not taking the time to do it, especially when you spend all this time making, like, you know, such an awesome head as the Evo 3, and then you just kind of run through the stringing of it. It's just depressing, especially because the pocket affects your gameplay more than any other piece of equipment. You know, the features of a high-end head are awesome, you know, stringing options, a unique scoop, a unique plastic, but when it comes down to is any good player can play with any head, but from my experiences, they can't play with a stick that's not strung for them. I've tried it by picking up other guys' sticks and throwing around with it, and I always have the hardest time. But I mean, I've proven I've strung, you know, cheap Under Armour heads and cheap Warrior heads, and showed you guys, and they perform perfectly. You know, they're not as has a luxury of, you know, being certain ways to string them or certain types of plastic, as I said, but they're going to function very similar as long as the pocket's strung the right way. It's by far the most important thing on the field, and I just want to stress that, because I don't want people to think buying a $100 head is going to make them an amazing player and just use this. It would be much better to buy a very cheap head and have it strung well. And I think that's something that I just wanted to share with you guys, and the difference between the two. So that's everything, and of course you guys can pick up Throne Mesh or a pre-strung head, or have me string your own head at throneofstring.com. If you guys haven't yet, sub to my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day. He really liked that he was from Montana, so I put the Montana state in there, and I put a star where his hometown is, which is Whitefish, and then I did flat.